Hi there, it's the great and glorious Nick Dutch yet again. Just a very quick video on the subject and concept of spiritual and spirituality. Alright? This is a very important concept because people don't understand what the words mean. We have to start separating that which is just a belief, or a belief which is assumed to be a truth, from that which is genuine spirituality. I actually get annoyed, very annoyed, when I watch certain supernatural TV shows, and there's always someone there who's being interviewed, and they've got a belief in, let's say, ghosts, spirits, angels, archangels, demons, whatever. And because they've got this belief, they then say, "Oh, I'm a very spiritual person." This is, in fact, incorrect. These people have a belief in spirits. That does not make them spiritual people. That makes them people who have an assumption about the way the world works, which they have chosen to believe rather than to constructively analyze and work with, or indeed to temporarily accept when they're in a supernatural situation, and then to disbelieve afterwards. They are not spiritual people. Another type of person is one who does a lot of prayer, talks to their higher power, and maybe has a relationship with something that they consider to be their higher power. These people also consider themselves to be spiritual. That is not spiritual. It may be a spiritual technique in the fact that it is using the concept of something of a spirit nature, namely a higher power or a God form, that they are attempting to communicate with. In reality, that is another supernaturalist belief structure. I'm not having anything against that, because the activity of either believing and then constructively disbelieving in supernatural things is something I approve of. I also feel that human beings need a higher power to keep themselves sane, balanced, and all the rest of it. It can be useful, but just because someone prays does not mean to say they are a spiritual person. So we have to separate that which is do-it-yourself religion. We have to separate that which is do-it-yourself superstition or do-it-yourself spiritualism from that which is genuinely spiritual. If we have a look at religion in a greater detail, without the simplification that we are given through maybe Sunday school, maybe church, maybe our temples, or maybe even some of the religious books that we read, that suggest that just believing is the be-all and end-all of religion. We look more closely at the techniques. We go through the history of the religions, and we see that there are self-analytical techniques, both written and also amplified, so to speak, with the techniques of prayer, meditation, contemplation, and ritual. Therefore, we realize that the prayerful, supernaturalist aspect is only one part of the equation and does not, in isolation, turn you into a spiritual person. The actual spirituality is in the gentle attempt to change the inner workings of your own mind, your own soul or spirit, your own psychology, your own emotional structure, through study, self-criticism, and self-analysis. We then see that real spirituality is the knowledge of and activities to work on the improvement of the self from the inside using literature, written exercises, contemplation, and the supernaturalist aspects of meditation, prayer, ritual, reverence of the higher power, and indeed communication with other allegedly supernatural beings such as angels, spirits, and demons. So, when you contemplate what you are, when you contemplate what you're looking at and what you're trying to do with your supernaturalism, with your religion, with your spirituality, ask yourself this: am I really being spiritual? Or am I just dipping my toe in the bathwater rather than diving in and trying to change something inside myself? Another thing that I would say is that an interpretation of the term spirituality would be differentiations between different cultural religious techniques, such as the spirituality of runecraft, the spirituality of Wicca, the spirituality of Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Islam, and all the rest. I maintain that spirituality cannot be used to differentiate these various different schools of thought. I maintain that spirituality is something that people who are followers of these faiths can do. But these are not different spiritual paths, so to speak. But these are different cultural strains and different cultural ways of approaching the concept and activity of personal change and growth. When we look at, for instance, the analogy of the fool's journey through the tarot, we see that the ultimate level of spiritual development is not to become some kind of divine, supernatural, godlike being. We see that the progress of the individual to reach the highest level of spirituality is in fact to become very normal, to be well integrated, to be able to cope, to work hard, and to have good relations with family, friends, and the community. And as such, we start to realize that spirituality, that thing which people separate from the norm, is in fact very mundane, very practical, very pragmatic, and very day to day.